Many organizations invite you now to apply for internships online. But here's the deal. I'm a big fan of doing exactly what you were told, applying online. However, I'm still an old school fan of sending an error-free cover letter. Here are the best practices for lining up your dream internship. The first thing is that you should start early. Many students make the mistake of starting to look for an internship in the spring of the year. But frankly, if you really want to make sure that you heighten your probability for success, you need to start in the fall. At many colleges, recruiters, meaning the people who are looking to hire from some of the companies and organizations that you might be thinking about, they start coming to campus a little bit early to meet the students, to talk about their organization, to start to try to soft sell you on why you might want to come with them for the summer. And in other college campuses, you may not have such visits. But if you have those visits, take advantage of them. Even if you're not sure whether or not you want to work for that organization, just going to the information sessions are a good thing because you not only learn about that particular company or organization, you also learn a little bit about the industry. And if nothing else, you get an opportunity to practice your networking, practice interacting with people informally. You hear the questions that other people are asking. You hear actually the narrative that those companies are talking about, narratives and sentences that you may be able to incorporate into your own story when the company or organization that you really want to join, when they actually do come to campus, you will have some more content that you can use in the conversation that you're going to have. So start early. Now, let's say you missed that boat. You were not going to the information sessions in October and November. You did not start to write early cover letters, and you find yourself in March and April. Well, recognize that you are a little bit behind the 8 ball with respect to your timing, but all is not lost. You can make sure that you spend dedicated time for about 2 weeks doing nothing but applying for internships online, sending cover letters, sending out your resume, and more importantly, networking and talking to people about what you are interested in. If you're on a college campus or you're on a graduate school campus, you might be surprised at the connections that your professors have. They also have connections, and if you express your interest to them, you never know. They might pick up the phone and say, hey, I got a really good student in my math class, or I have a really great student in my English class that has absolutely outstanding communication skills. I think you might want to spend 15 or 20 minutes talking to this student. Those are the kinds of things you want to take advantage of, and you can take advantage of it just by telling somebody that you're interested, or more importantly, asking them if they know anybody in that particular industry. Now, let's talk about the communications. Many organizations invite you now to apply for internships online. But here's the deal. I'm a big fan of doing exactly what you were told, applying online. However, I'm still an old school fan of sending an error-free cover letter. Error-free. Now, why do I emphasize that? You'll be surprised how easy it is to write a letter that you think is perfect. But if you don't read it out loud, you could very easily have missed a word because your brain is moving so fast while you're writing that letter. That is a potential slip number 1. A potential slip number 2 is spelling and grammar. If you're a fan of using some of the online programs to check your work, I still would argue that you need to read it out loud. Why? T-O, T-O-O, and T-W-O, they all are the word to, and they all sound alike. So if you're dictating a letter, if you're typing a letter, and your computer could very easily just put T-W-O in or T-O-O when what you really meant was T-O. So I always find that reading the letter slowly out loud helps me to decide if A, I have the right grammar, B, if there's a better way to say it, and C, whether or not I might have made a spelling error. So it's important that you read it out loud, because when you hit send, you want to know that it is error-free. You also want to send an error-free resume. And again, I don't say that lightly. You'll be surprised how many times I have found typos on people's resumes. Well, the reader is now thinking, wow, they didn't care enough to review this. They didn't care enough to fix it. And nobody wants to hire anybody that doesn't care enough about delivering excellence in their own work. And the resume represents you. It's you on a piece of paper. And you don't want to leave them with that impression. So send an error-free cover letter, an error-free resume to the hiring person, which you can generally find online as well. Now, why do I say do that if you have already applied online? Because while it's true that people are slow these days to look at their mail, everybody opens an overnight letter almost immediately. And now you've had 2 shots of being in front of the hiring manager. When they open that cover letter and resume, which should be very impressive, they're going to say, wow, well, let me take a look at, Felicia Smart here. And then they check their computer to see whether or not you applied online. And now they see your work online. It's in their hand. Chances are, or let me put it like this, you dramatically heighten the probability that you're going to at least get a phone call. The last thing I'm going to tell you about getting your dream internship is think broadly. While you may be interested in, let's say, going in mergers and acquisitions in an investment bank because you want to know how to value companies, well, you also learn how to value companies if you are in the research department of an investment bank. You learn something about valuing companies if you are doing a credit assignment. So when you think more broadly about the opportunity, I want to know how to value companies, as opposed to saying, I must go in M&A. Now you give yourself a chance at 3 different roles, all of which will teach you how to value companies, as opposed to restricting yourself to one highly competitive spot. Go get them.